Hi, I'm Sibesh from Maya Labs. We are on a mission to teach machines how to code, starting off with a quick way to build custom software by describing it in natural language. So say I want to build an internal tool to move data from a Google Sheet to an SQL database. Could be any data source, Airtable, SQL, Notion. Maya suggests options so you don't need documentation to get started. All I need to do is get the column names and write the business logic in English. By the way, I can change these words around, write fetch instead of get, and just hit enter. Maya generates a custom visual program in seconds. It looks for missing dependencies after generating the code. Here it's asking me to authenticate the Google Sheets module. I create a new profile and press continue to set it up securely with my Google account in a few clicks. It's also found as in installing two other dependencies, the dashboard module for the front-end components and a module to transform the data. Now I just need to make sure my Google account can access this sheet, copy the URL, double click and paste it into this helpfully named node here. This is now ready to test. I open the dashboard and the debug log sections, click the button and it's fetched the columns we needed from the Google Sheet. And there it is. In a few minutes, we built a way to hook up a data source and get what we want from it. I now want to visualize this in a table, so I just write that in the next step and Maya gets it done. If I press fetch again, it populates the table so I can see all the data. Let's now build a form to manually modify some items before they go into the SQLDB. I write the step with the fields I need, Maya generates the program and the form, and I just position the form in my dashboard. I can edit the step to change the form if I wanted to. It works as you'd expect. Now for the final step, inserting the edited items into an SQL database. I specify which table and which columns I want to insert, and Maya generates the program. Then installs the SQL module by detecting it, and then I can double click and set up the SQL details securely like this. We now have our first natural language program built in a few minutes to move data from Google Sheets to SQL, modifying it between using a form. Now, since this is just a bunch of steps written in English, I can copy and paste it into a note taking app or share it with a friend. They could import and modify it to build something new. When editing or deleting steps, Maya responds instantly the way you'd expect, which means you can store and move around the program in your head. Here I'm changing the last step to send a custom email to people in this table. I specify some placeholders I want to take care of and hit enter. Maya generates the content for the email and a button to send the email in one go. You can click on any item to see how the email for it will look like and edit the template by double clicking the edit template node. Once a simple custom tool like this one is set up, Maya lets you grow it to hundreds of nodes that do just about anything by dragging and dropping reusable logic blocks for a wide variety of apps and APIs from the node palette on the left. This is running on the Maya cloud and is great for collaboration. But if you want to run things on your own system, Maya lets you export and import it onto our Mac, Windows, or Linux desktop app as well. Behind the scenes in the backend, Maya uses a forked version of the open source IoT engine Node-RED to run its program. All our modules and our SDK is open source as well for anyone to modify. The desktop app opens up new superpowers. So, for instance, I'm creating a web scraper to scrape data and put it into my Google Sheet. So, I'm connecting to the browser, then opening a page, and then querying the page. In this case, this is the Maya store, which is a collection of templates that you can install and reuse. I'm opening up my Chrome extension and selecting the title of each item on our store. And I just put it in the query node, and Maya now knows to pick up from that. I do the same thing for each description. I select multiple elements, put that out here, and this is now ready to go. Once this is built, you can trigger it in a variety of ways. Add a custom webhook endpoint or a command node and trigger it from the system-wide Maya command bar. You can also add a scheduler node to repeat it at intervals, like this. You can configure it using a bunch of presets or add your own cron expression for more granular and advanced usage. If you want to modify data in advanced ways, you can write custom JavaScript logic inside the function node. The more tasks Maya automates, the smarter it gets. We're creating a new way to teach it how to generate a custom program. Select the important nodes and create a subflow. Give it a name and a description by going into the edit properties. And that's it. This is now ready to be reused by anyone on the team. You can run it and see. I add an inject node to trigger it and a debug node to see output. And it scrapes the title and description of each flow from the Maya store and logs it here, as you can see. Perhaps one day it'll be able to extend this further to scrape each flow on the store, add it to its own training data, and improve itself over time. Till then, Maya is the fastest way to delegate custom complex tasks to a machine. Get early access today at mayalabs.io.